Lake Bogoria National Reserve is a Ramsar site and a World Heritage Site that lies at an altitude of 975 meters in Rift Valley, Kenya. It is famous for its hot springs and natural spas. The reserve also has a high conservation value, with at least 12 of its animal species listed as endangered species in the IUCN Red List. The Endorois community are indigenous to the area and have learned to coexist with the wildlife for many years. They are traditionally a pastoralist community, but have learned to grow crops too, to diversify their livelihoods. This traditional way of life has encouraged biodiversity conservation in and around Lake Bogoria National Reserve. Different cultural values are attached to different plants, animals, and ecosystems. For example, some wild animals have a totemic importance. There are a total of 13 clans within the whole Endorois community, and these 13 clans are subdivided into lineages and named after their ancestor. Each clan had a particular name bestowed to their women, a totemic animal, and a totemic symbol marked on their livestock. The totem system prohibits sex and marriage between members of the same clan. The totem system serves as a comprehensive network of wildlife protection. Some animals are important for ceremonies. The grey-crowned crane, for example, is a bird affiliated with wisdom and linked to circumcision. The greater kudu horn is used as a trumpet for a variety of purposes, such as hailing the beginnings of meetings, hunts, and ceremonies. The horn is kept by one person and it is shared among the community. The colobus monkey skin is worn by the most talented dancers in the community when performing traditional dances. Some traditional dances were inspired by wildlife. For example, the flamingo dance. The elders discussed rules governing the proper use of the habitats. This involved planning for the conservation of land, plants, animal, and water resources. Rituals are performed when there is a bad omen, for example, a famine, spread of disease, or even when Lake Bogoria produces an unpleasant odor. It is performed by blameless men, both young and old, and the offerings come from blameless people within the community. The sacred ritualistic places are therefore safeguarded, contributing to an overall conservation of wildlife. Sacred plants, known as korosek, honey beer, and milk are used to perform the ritual. Young boys and girls are sent to bring the sacred plants with the help of an elderly member of the community. After the ritual, some of the sacred plants are shared among the attendees and used to bless their homes and livestock. The rest of it is burnt. That smoke that goes up is believed to be sending a message to God. Planned rotational systems safeguarding against overgrazing are decided through social gatherings called barazas. Swamps are supposed to be closed during the rainy seasons, and the closed season is supposed to be respected by all members of the community, to a point that if someone accidentally let their livestock go into the swamp during this time, the person has to report himself to the elders so that they can perform a ritual on him in order to avoid a curse upon his livestock. This person will then offer a bull to be slaughtered and local brew for the requested ritual. Before the swamp is reopened for livestock grazing, a ritual called Sutetab Sawaiti has to be performed. Selective removal of a resource and allowing for replenishment of what was taken is a basic rule of conserving the natural resources.
Mi guiguye mi tandare mi ta samakanda aku ki wek choro no ki wek choro no ya ka ches ta go rote ku be chinde ya go te fa aku sai ni be ku sa nane wo ngoy ku mi ta chimenge ti nyoli len chwechu ci ngor ngorin ja ga le mag sube ge be ya na mak ke be cho ki lyo ku chwechu ge ya en ngecher we aga ya em mese ki to ge le ni igine te ke le ki to ki cheru
To appreciate all they have received from nature, the Endorois people traditionally pay for ecosystem services. This means that they give out some items to nature before they take its resources. So why are we losing the battle to save wildlife? Just like any other protected area in Kenya, Militarization is the approach used for protecting the endangered species in Bogoria. This approach often brands the local communities as invaders, poachers, and bandits, and has therefore escalated the divide between conservationists and the local Endorois community. The local community no longer has a sense of ownership of the wildlife and natural resources, and their cultural norms are breaking down as a result. They have therefore resorted to retaliation activities such as unsustainable use of their natural resources, illegal bushmeat hunting, and poisoning of the wildlife.
My name is Rafael Kimasov. I work with the county government of Baringo County, and I work as a wetlands officer. In Baringo, we do have areas and quite a number of wetlands, and it has been and the wetlands has been identified, and it covers an area of 1,080 kilometers squared in the entire county. In Baringo South, where we are now, is we have quite a number of zones as well. We have an Boy Swamp, we have Kesuba Swamp, we have an Endorois, which we are already in here, and we have very many swamps, which has made Lake Bogoria to be one of the wetlands in the globe. In Kesuba entirely, it has already been degraded, and the causal effect of its degradation is one is overstocking, which has made many people, the people living around Kesuba Swamp are pastoralists, and most of them keep animals, and without restriction they keep quite a number of animals which have changed the land to be degraded and overstocked. Entirely before its degradation, the swamp was very rich in biodiversity. It had a lot of wildlife, among them the warthogs, zebras, impalas, and the Creta Kudu, the famous Creta Kudu, which the county government has used it to be its logo. So Creta Kudu was, Kesuba Swamp was one of the niche, or rather the corridor and filter route for Creta Kudu, and since its degradation, all those animals have gone away, and some have been killed by the locals. Another thing which has made, which was in Kesuba Swamp was bird life. The avian was very many in Kesuba Swamp. It had a lot of biodiversity of birds, and more so the cranes, the endemic cranes, which are also very endangered in as far as an IUCN list is concerned. So all those birds which were in Kesuba have all gone. Most of them, the remaining birds are all the common birds which are around everywhere in the community. It was also a home to the ostrich, and now ostrich also have gone. It has been laying their eggs, nesting in Kesuba Swamp, and since then, the animals have always gone, and the birds have also gone. Generally, in the entire county, the wetlands are always in danger because of human encroachment, and all other demographic activities, which people normally do, and people does not regard. They always value the economic benefits, like farming and doing other things other than conservation. So, like for Kesuba, it has gone. It is almost done by human beings. It is almost degraded by human beings because of the urge for their livelihoods, the urge for to sustain their lives. So the only swamp which is now remaining, which still have the economic value and ecological value, is Loboi Swamp.
In an attempt to find a solution to these challenges, this project engaged the local community and the conservation authorities at Lake Bogoria National Reserve through stakeholder forums and documenting indigenous knowledge that could be useful for biodiversity conservation. Have the authorities brought on board the local community in biodiversity conservation and management?
So far, we've given bursaries up to a tune of almost 1,000 students, and this is for the last 3 years. The program started 2014, 2015 financial year. And this is actually the achievement from the county government, Baringo County government, through the default functions, which is now being a benefit to the community, the entire community we are living around. And apart from that, we've done so many projects. We've done a pandan in Sinende, Kaptonai. We've done chief's office, several of them. And we've done one of cultural center and at Loboi. So this is actually the programs which is drawn from the community. We have no role in terms of managing the funds. Nevertheless, the county has gone ahead. We've employed the liaison officer, the community liaison officer, which lies between the management and the community in terms of issues related, in development of the community and improvement of the livelihood of the community and the wise use of the natural resource.
There is need to include the local community in the biodiversity conservation. This should be done by integrating the indigenous knowledge and the scientific knowledge in the management of the reserve. At the end of the day, the local community should also get direct monetary benefits from the biodiversity conservation conducted in their own land.